Good morning. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. I hope you are well. It's another morning phone-in show for you to come on and have your say as football fans. Lots to discuss this morning. England, of course, winning last night, courtesy of a Harry Maguire thunderbolt. Give them a 2-1 victory over Poland. Of course, missing Robert Lewandowski. A terrible miss last night from Timo Werner. And I saw Chelsea fans last night it was almost like this acceptance of, I don't know if he's actually going to make it, or maybe a realization rather than an acceptance that maybe he just doesn't quite have what it takes to be in the Premier League, and maybe his confidence is beyond repair. I want some thoughts and feelings on that today from you when we open up the lines for you to call in. On top of that, two big transfer stories we want to delve into. Jack Grealish to Manchester City. It is picking up pace. The rumor mill is increasing. Can you see it happening? And if so, how much of a success do you think Jack Grealish will be at Man City? And I want to know your thoughts on Jack Grealish as well today. That's one of the biggest and the main talking points of today's show. How good is Jack Grealish? Genuinely, how good is this young man? There are also reports coming out of Spain today that Manchester United have made inquiries about Raphaël Varane. It's reported our number one target is Jules Koundé. However, the £80 million price tag has made Man United think twice. They do believe there's an opportunity of picking up Raphaël Varane at a cut price due to his contract ending in the summer of 2022 with Real Madrid. If you think Raphaël Varane is a better defender, maybe not with as many. He ain't going to have as many miles left on the clock as Jules Koundé, but of course, you may be able to sign a better centre-back now for a cheaper price. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. The reports in Spain say Man United have started to knock on the door. They've made some inroads and had some conversations with representatives of Raphaël Varane. But of course, there is still a long way to go. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to digest this morning. I'm going to go to your comments first of all. Do me a favor and make sure you're smashing that like button right now for me. Good morning, DJ. Hope you're well. He says, good morning, everyone. So Timo Werner miss. Listen, it was not good, but I will still give him time at Chelsea. And you're right to do that. But the banter's going to be, it was an awful miss, wasn't it? It really was an awful miss. I'm even pulling on my own face just thinking about it. It's the confidence. Rewind a year, maybe 10 months. I remember when the Bundesliga returned and a lot of us were making content on it, doing watch-alongs. I just kind of, because there was big links of 3 or 4 stars from the league being linked to the Premier League, and it was sort of a case of, let's see what it's all about, let's see what people are saying, etc. And Werner looked deadly, quick, sharp, good control, good footballer, excellent finisher, and just in the Prem, it just has not been able to perform in the way that we all thought he would so far. But I think you're absolutely right in that. Josh here says, Jack Grealish said Man United already have Bruno when asked about the links. I haven't seen that. And maybe they do. And maybe that's why you feel Man City are a better option. Can he go to Man City? Will he go to Manchester City? £100 million is the asking price from Villa. But what I want to know more so from you is, how good is Jack Grealish? Do you think he'll stand out at a big club where he's up against a low block, where he doesn't have the same level of time and, of course, not the same level of space that he receives when attacking in a Aston Villa shirt? It's not about my opinion. It's about your opinion on this. We want to hear from you. Raphael Varane probably thinks, no way I'm playing next to a slab of concrete, is what Don G has said. Terry, could Haaland be Werner 2.0 in the Prem? He could be. There is always that outside possibility that a player comes to the Premier League and it doesn't work. Without trying to sound disrespectful, twisted, but of course that could happen. Will it happen? That's for you to say. This is what I get. You guys want to ask me questions, but as we say here at the Football Terrace, you, the viewers, are the most important part. What do you think, Twisted? You probably ask about 15 to 20 questions per stream. I love it. Give me your opinion. I'd love to know what you think about this. Hamed here, one of our members with a super chat, says, can we all agree that Timo is a flop? Chelsea fans are willing to give him all the time in the world and will attack Tammy Abraham every time he has an average game. Pure hypocrisy and dissonance. Do you know what? Listen, you've got to give, bro, you've got to give Timo Werner a little bit longer. You have to give Timo Werner another season at least before judgment is made, in my opinion. You have to. You have to there. You have to. Matt here, or I missed Matt's comment here, says Varane and Rice would transform Manchester United. I certainly hear that. In terms of the actual I want to go to the Jack Grealish deal to start off with. This is what was said here. It says reports that Jack Grealish could be, no, it doesn't say that. It says here, according to the Telegraph, the Premier League club Manchester City are looking to prioritize Haaland this summer. It suggested that the club could feel desperate to replace the leaving legend in Sergio Aguero. However, there is large interest in the Aston Villa captain Jack Grealish. He says, however, the deal has a lot of complications due to the staggering £100 million valuation, but he is a player that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City admire highly. So the overarching view is Haaland's number one target. But when you listen to most media outlets, Chelsea seem to be the favourites to land Haaland. So maybe it's not a case of signing Haaland and Jack Grealish. It's one or the other. But what do you think is more important to Manchester City? Replacing Aguero with a proper striker and a goal scorer, or adding more creativity in Jack Grealish? If you're a City fan and you could only get one of the two, which are you picking? Pav here says, am I going to miss the announcement later? I got a night shift and I've got to sleep. I don't know. Because I don't know what time today or tomorrow I'm doing it. It really depends on when I get the confirmation through. But I will keep you all abreast of the Football Terrace developments. Trust me, it's amazing and exciting news on the way. Blue Clouds TV, my guy here, says, Timo, I trust. And I bet you do. And I want to hear from you when we open up the lines very soon. In terms of the Man United Varane story, let's give you a bit of an overview of that. And then we want to jump straight into your calls. I want your opinions. It says here that Manchester United's interest in Real Madrid Raphaël Varane is covered in today's edition. This is in ABC in Spain. This is the defender's contract lasts until 2022, and the reports provide an insight on the conditions put forward by the 27-year-old to extend. So he has put forward conditions to stay at Real Madrid. He has said, this is what I want. That's not overtly been revealed in the article that I've read. It says it goes on to the Spanish giants are of the belief that the player doesn't want to renew. That's why the demands that Raphaël Varane have put in are so staggering and difficult for them to meet. It's almost, again, the PR that these players do is amazing nowadays. They basically, I'm willing to re-sign, but of course they throw in X, Y, and Z. He'll probably throw in a statement very soon about how much he loves and respects the fans and the culture and Madrid to get them all on side. But the club believe he wants to leave. He says the Premier League has always been attractive to Raphaël Varane. ABC explained that Manchester United have begun to knock on the door again years after they made their first attempt. Talks with the representatives have started, but they're at a very preliminary stage. I can't help, though, when I read that, think back to other deals with players connected to or with Real Madrid, like Sergio Ramos, who are just using us for a better deal. But as ever, I want your views and your opinions. Let's get this. Let's hit our first milestone of the stream today. Let's go past that 100 like mark, people. If you haven't hit that button yet, please get it done. Subscribe to the channel and sign up to our Discord server. That's where I'm about to go now and share the link for you all to come on and have your say on these matters. I sometimes think I should type out these links to share before I go live, and then I don't have to sit here typing. But maybe I'm just being lazy. The link shared on the Discord server now, so get yourself across to the general chat page, have your say. Spurs fan Alan here, top guy, says City should go for Haaland over Grealish. They have many ballers in their team. With Aguero leaving, he needs replacing. I do not believe Jesus can hit 20+ goals a season. And you know what, Alan? I think you're right in that. And I know that Gundogan has stepped up. I know that they've had success with using false nines. But This is a question that's testing my knowledge here. So I'm asking the question: how many teams have successfully used a false nine for 2 or 3 seasons running? Has it ever been done? Where a bit like a team using a back three and having continual success at the elite end of the spectrum. Has it ever happened where the success continues? I'm not too sure. I'm not. Legitimately, I am not too sure if I can even think of an example. I'm also going to share the link for calls in the comment section here as well. If you all come on and have your say this morning. I look Twisted Bubba here with another question. Love this guy. He says, Terry, who's knocking on Varane's door? I don't know specifically. I read the article, bruv. I won't give him the information. Man United. So that means one of our transfer dudes. So yeah, just say it's someone who works for Man United. It's going to be my answer to that. I don't know specifically, brother. I have no idea. I've not got direct contact. South London's finest here. My guy, one of my best moderators says, I might miss the announcement, but you deserve all the success, Terry. From where you started and from what you have built, the growth has been a madness. And listen, that's a very humbling thing to hear. Thank you. And you know what's interesting? One of the biggest drivers for me to do this deal is to be able to bring you the level of content we have done, maintain it, increase it, make it better for the foreseeable future. And you know, if it wasn't for the brilliant, I got a few percentage of trolls that watch the show, but the percentage of the amount of you and the high percentage of you that give us great support, are always watching, always tuning in one way, shape, or form, is staggering to me. So a massive thank you to all of you for doing that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Messi, Spain. Okay, yeah, Spain used a false nine. But I swear when they won the World Cup and stuff, was David Villa not playing? I suppose he drifted out to the left, maybe. I can't remember. I told you, tested my knowledge. Domestic club level, though. Have you seen a team? Have you seen a team win 2 titles back to back without a striker, without a recognized goal scorer stroke striker? I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head where that has happened. We've got our first caller of the day. Jello is on with us. How you doing?
I'm good, Terry. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm very well. Who do you support, bro?
I'm a Chelsea fan.
You're a Chelsea fan. What have you phoned up to speak about today?
First, let me answer your first question about Jack Grealish, I guess.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish, look, he's a talented player. We all know that, and you know he's done very well at Aston Villa. But you know, going to a team like City is going to be a big step up. But I do think he can do it, and I do think he's good enough to play for City. And it's up to him if he goes there, he decides to go there, or if Aston Villa decide to let him go there. I think he is good enough to play for City, and I think he'll bring a lot of quality to the team.
I see one. I agree with you on that. I think Jack Grealish would absolutely thrive at a team like Manchester City. I actually think within a season, I think he could be there. I think he could be their best creative spark within a season. And I know KDB is an absolute don. I think you get a similar level of passing range, just with the way Grealish can glide past the player as well.
Incredible.
I think he would stand out, and I think people would be saying, "Listen, who's better, KDB or Grealish?" Inside 12 months, that's what Pep Guardiola could do for him in that side, no doubt.
And that's a really good point, because he's going to a club with Pep, and Pep is a really good manager, and he gets the best out of a lot of players, and especially young players who, you know, he's done it at Barcelona, and we know that. So
yeah, no, 100%, bro. What was your other point you phoned to speak about, mate?
And the other point is with the Timo Werner, I feel like we're just jumping the gun too early. Like, yes, he's not having a great season, but he can't be scoring 30 goals, close to 30 goals, and then you go to another club. It's just sometimes when you change clubs, it happens. And I do not, as a Chelsea fan, I do not want to make the same mistake we did with Salah, where after one season, we were like, oh, he's rubbish. And then we got rid of him. And then he goes to Italy. He gets his confidence back. And then he comes to Liverpool, scores 40 goals. and then we're like, oh, he's one of the best players now. And then Egypt look at him and they respect him.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
That's the fear, isn't it? That he leaves, refines his form, and then maybe comes back to the. It's never as painful if they stay outside the Prem and deliver. So Diego Forlan, Man United had it. He went to La Liga and he killed it. If he'd have come back to the Prem to a rival and killed it, it would have hurt. As an example, and that's always a risk. I think Timo Werner needs, at the very least, 12 more months in England.
I agree.
The world's changing again soon. Lockdown's coming to an end. He'll get to maybe feel more settled in the UK, learn a bit more about his surroundings, have a full it won't be a full preseason because he'll probably be away with Germany for a lot of it, but have a bit more of a preseason, fit more into Tuchel's system. And I think he'll come good next year. And the miss that he had last night, I feel, when Raheem Sterling plays against Manchester United, you can almost feel that he overthinks, overplays, takes a touch too many. It's almost like it's got into his head now that he's never scored against Manchester United.
Yep.
I think Timo Werner's in that mind space now where when he should score, it's almost as if his mind says to just before he shoots, it's, oh no, what if I miss? And that negative thought. I played golf once, and I'm not very good at it.
Me too, yesterday.
Yeah,
time.
I went on a business trip and I went and played, and there was this really difficult hole, and there was these two like lakey pond things either side of the fairway, and I couldn't think of anything other than I'm going to go into it. 4 shots on the bounce, I went into the water, and I think it was because I kept on thinking about it, and it was a subconscious thing, and I think that's what Timo Werner is doing massively. Mate, really appreciate the call. Thank you for coming on and having your say very much, mate. All the best. Take care. Thank you. Next up, we're going to have Hussein on the show. Make sure like buttons are being hit, share buttons as well. We're talking Raphaël Varane to Manchester United. We're talking Jack Grealish to Manchester City as well. Do you think that deal will happen? And how good is Jack Grealish? We're just taking calls on last night's international football. Of course, Germany getting beat by minnows. Timo Werner missing an absolute sitter, and Captain Slabhead getting the winner for England as well. Thoughts on England's under-21s knockout? There's a lot of talent in that team. They need a better manager to orchestrate them. We shouldn't have gone out the way we did. I don't watch enough under-21s football purely because I don't have enough time to consume the additional games with what else I do. But very talented players. Ian Lee here, another member of the Terrace, says City would ruin Grealish as he would not be the best at the club and wouldn't start every game. I don't know about that, Lee. Ian, sorry. I think the talent and the quality within Jack Grealish, the type of person that he comes across like, as I think he would force his way into that team in 12 months. It would be who's better, Grealish or KDB. That would be the internal debate. And what a debate to have. What a debate to have. No worries, bro. Appreciate you supporting the channel. We're going to get man like Hussein on the show now with us. Welcome to the Terrace, mate. Good morning. What do you want to say?
Good morning, Terry. I hope you're doing well. What I wanted to say about the Grealish deal is I know to some people, they're going to question it like, oh, why would Manchester City want to get Grealish when they have Kevin De Bruyne, when they have, Sterling, Mahrez, they still have Phil Foden as well. But I think people need to realize that some of the players I just mentioned, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Gundogan, these are players that are getting older. So right now, it's very simple that what they want to do is get someone like Grealish, who is still young, but also a fantastic player. They want him to join City and to be surrounded by these group of winners, and that's going to help him mentally and help him in the long run when he's in City in the next 5 years. Because when those players go, he's going to be able to step up and then take charge for Manchester City when they need to win big tournaments, when they need to win the Premier League soon. So I think it's going to be a fantastic deal. As for how he will play, I think that's going to be an interesting one because you still have Sterling, you still have Phil Foden, but with Pep Guardiola, there's always some sort of trust you have with him. He's just a good manager, and I think Manchester City, being a well-run club, they will know what to do with Jack Grealish. Oh, Jack Grealish, he's starting for Villa all the time. He is a native of Birmingham, so for him to kind of go from playing all the time at Birmingham, at Aston Villa, to Manchester City, where he might not get as much time as he might prefer, I think he'll be fine still. And the issue with Raphaël Varane, in my opinion, I'm not too sure about this transfer, to be honest. I think it really depends, because what I'm hearing right now, in terms of some of the rumors, is that Sergio Ramos has still not finalized a contract to renew at Real Madrid. So it's either one of these centre backs will go, in my opinion. And I think what Manchester United will try to do is they'll probably try to prioritize on one of them. Maybe I feel like they should try to go for Julius Koundé from Sevilla, because I feel like he is a defender that will suit Manchester United very well. And I'm not saying that Raphaël Varane is bad. He is a world-class player. I know some people might have doubts about him because of how he played against Manchester City last year, but I think we shouldn't look into that very much, because some players just have bad patches, and some people were saying, oh, he only looks good when he's next to Sergio Ramos, but we need to remember he won the World Cup next to Samuel Umtiti, so he is much better than Umtiti. So I think he has the characteristics that Manchester United would really like. He has the leadership, very good in the air, much better than Lindelof, a good passer of the ball, still a very good tackler. I think if Manchester United can get him, that will strengthen the team. I think my question is then, in terms of what will happen to Bailly and Tuanzebe, because this is the kind of time where sometimes you might want Tuanzebe to get more game time, but I'm not sure really. I'm not sure if he's injured. I'm not sure if he's just not getting the game time he wants, or.
Yeah, it's a real interesting. Do you know what I think with Manchester United fans when it comes to favoured players or academy players? What I always find is this: when they're not happy, they'll find any little thing to pull on. If we were top of the league and clear by 10 points, nobody would care really that Eric Bailly is not playing. Nobody would care that Tuanzebe hasn't got as much time as possible, because a lot of the people you really hear moaning about that are the Ollie outers, that they will use everything they can to bash Ollie with. There was no real reason to attack Ollie, but those players were still not. Just to say that we were a better team, and those players weren't getting the opportunities. They would look for something else potentially, because you couldn't moan about the starting lineup. They try and paint a picture that if Tuanzebe and Eric Bailly were playing more regularly, we wouldn't be where we are. I still think we would be. And that's not because they're not talented footballers. It's because they're very, very injury prone. And if you started playing them on a regular basis, I think their bodies would break down and you'd be out without them again anyway. That's the only reason, in my opinion, Tuanzebe and Bailly don't play more. That seems to get ignored a hell of a lot by a lot of Ollie's detractors. We do need better centre-backs, or at least one top-level centre-back to go next to. It will be Maguire. It won't be Lindelof, in my opinion. It needs to happen, and it's just very much a case of people have just got to accept it. That's the way it is. That's what needs to happen. Bailly and Tuanzebe are not favoured primarily because of their injury record, and it's as simple as that. Raphaël Varane, I suppose for me, I don't know why there's something about him I'm just not 100% convinced about, and maybe that's what I've heard, what people say, what people, etc., sort of playing on my mind. But we'll see what happens. Hussein, great call. Thanks for supporting the channel, mate, and I'll speak to you again soon. Top man, thank you. Next up on the show. Why has that all gone very weird in my? There we go. That's better. Next up on the show, we're going to have Fixer with us. Grealish has freedom to play as he likes at Villa. He would be more restricted at City, is what Twisted Bubba thinks. The caller's point about City is wrong. Grealish does not fit the criteria to be a City player due to cost and wages. Listen, that's a fair point. But nor does Haaland. The two major players City are linked with at the moment this summer sit outside that. It all depends on FFP for me. The reason City have stuck to a very rigid structure is because of the restraints of financial fair. City were a club that financial fair play were targeting, there's no doubt. They had to be as regimented as possible to ensure they stay within their restraints. If they no longer have to stick to them, or if they're relaxed massively, I think City may increase their spending. Thank you very much to Matthew, who's a gunner, for becoming an academy member at the Football Terrace as well. We also had Carefree sign up as well as a member as well today. Thank you very much to both of you for signing up. It means a great deal to us. We're going to get Fixer on the show now. Hit that like and share button. You can call in now if you want to have your say on any of the talking points today. I shared the link again in the comment section. It's also available on the Discord server. Fixer, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Hey, good morning, Terry. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well. What are you here to talk about this morning, brother?
Yeah, I just heard you say you're not too sure about Varane. I think it should be, man. I think Varane is gonna be the real deal, man. Trust me. Like that guy, if he comes to United, we'll be good.
And I'm really willing to listen to other people. I don't proclaim to watch him on a hugely regular basis. I've seen some really good games. I've seen some iffy games. But because I haven't watched or studied him close enough, I don't want to give an overriding opinion. So if someone that watches him, like yourself, on a regular basis says he is good enough, he would elevate us, I'll take that as read, and I'll take your opinion seriously. So would you pick him, or is it Jules or Julius Koundé? Which of the two would you pick?
Actually, that's a good question. The thing is, I would pick Varane only because Varane has a better sort of CV. He's played for Real Madrid. He's won the World Cup. He's won how many Champions League now? Like 4 or something. I mean, he has experience when it comes to actually winning trophies and being successful. So it just makes more sense to stick with Varane, especially if they're the same price. Around the same sort of price. I would just go with Varane because he's a safer bet basically. Julius Koundé is good. Don't get me wrong, but he could be one of those players that comes in and just gets disillusioned with life in United and just fades away or something. But Varane, at least we already have that backdrop that he's a serial winner. And usually when serial winners, everywhere they go, they usually win things. Like Pogba, for example. I don't like Pogba, but I can tell you for a fact that he's a serial winner. He does win things everywhere he is. He came to United and won 2 trophies straight away. Won the World Cup and stuff. So people, generally footballers that win stuff, always go on to win stuff, even if I don't know, there's just something about them. They bring that winning attitude to teams and stuff. So I think we should just go with Varane.
I do hear you on that, and you would definitely him next. I think you'd then see an elevation in Maguire as well. I think you would see an extra 10%, 20% in Maguire's game. The defensive line would be fixed. If we just get another top centre back into that position, you never know if our back line improves to a level. If we don't get that CDM that Manchester United need, having a better back line could just, for a season, for another year, could just get us through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we shall see. In terms of the other stories there, Jack Grealish to Man City, what's your thoughts on that?
Jack Grealish, well, to be honest, if he wants to go to City, he can go to City. But what I don't understand is why would City want Grealish? Like, he's a good player, but I think City can do a little bit better. I think Grealish should come to us. We're more of a better fit for him because we're not successful as City is at the moment, and then he can just grow with us. But City, if he goes to City, there's a chance he might even be benched. I don't know. City has too many good players. I don't think he wants all that smoke. I think he should come to United where the competition is not going to be that high, and he's gonna be able to, he's gonna be a straight up starter. And he can grow with us. But if he goes to City, he's just gonna be another big name on the bench. And it might not work out for him. Remember when City first started, they had Jack Rodwell, they had who else did they have? Some upcoming English guys that it just never worked out for them. They ended up in Swansea. So I think
Jack Grealish is levels above.
I know he is. But when if you're a footballer like Grealish and you go to a team like City where you're gonna be playing with them Cancelo, Rodri, and all these guys, and plus the other guys they're going to bring. I know you're talented, but you're among all the talented people, so you're not going to stand out so much. If he came to United, on the other hand, he's going to be like after Bruno, probably even before Bruno, depending on how he could be our best player, and then he could take us to the top.
I don't disagree with you. Jack Grealish could come to Man United, and he could be our best player. He is that talented.
Yeah.
I think he could go to Manchester City and be their best player. I think he's that talented. I do. I really do.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, it's opinions are opinions.
My logic is this: Man United have the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League in their team in Bruno Fernandes. So if Jack Grealish can come to Man United and be our best player, but we have the best attacking midfielder in the league, then he could equally become the best attacking midfielder at Man City. It stands to reason logically.
Yeah, but Bruno Fernandes, I love the guy. Yeah, he's like my best player. But even if Bruno Fernandes was at City, he wouldn't be their best player. He wouldn't. He would not be their best player. I'm pretty sure if he was at City, he would just be one of those players that they bring on, or he would just be a squad player. I don't think he would stand out so much the way he's standing out in United. He literally carried United.
Maybe it's an
a team can have two best players. You don't have to be just one. A team can have like 2 or 3 players who are like equally.
No, I understand. My point overriding is I think Jack Grealish could go to any team in the world right now, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, and he could get into this. Maybe not on day one, but I think he could work himself into those starting lineups and become so integral to their teams that they cannot afford to drop him because he's creative, he's hardworking, he can pass, he can score goals.
He's a baller, man. He's amazing.
I'm so intrigued to see what Jack Grealish can do in a better team. The only question mark over Jack Grealish is we haven't seen him on a regular basis up against low blocks or teams that basically have 11 men behind the ball. How is he going to operate in those intricate spaces? My view is, as an opinion to that question, his ability to beat a man is so. That's why I want Man United to bring him in, because we don't have enough creative players that can beat someone. It's like, imagine Juan Mata could dribble past people. Juan Mata's passing ability is still very, very good. His problem is he doesn't have the speed or physicality to beat anyone.
Right.
He's always got someone in front of him. Jack Grealish glides past people and then can pass left foot, right foot.
Now that you mentioned it, Terry, I just realized you're actually correct. We don't have that many dribblers. I know we have Rashford who tries it, but he's more of a kick the ball in front and then chase after it. And we have Martial who can dribble, but only do it in like tight spaces towards the box or whatever I call the box in front of goal. So if you get Jack Grealish, somebody who can actually dribble from the middle of the pitch, and his dribbling style is different. He just drops the shoulder. He's very aware of everything that's happening around him all the time. And then mix that up with Bruno and the rest, it might be good.
He's what I refer to as a magnet player. So Jack Grealish, whether he's left, right, or central on the ball, he will attract 1, 2, sometimes 3 players to him to try and win the ball away from him. He has the ability to attract people and move the ball. And if he's got 2 men or 3 men around him, that means somebody else has got space. So sometimes with Grealish, it's not even going to... I think if Grealish goes to a team like Man United, it may not necessarily always be him who is getting the assist. It may not even be him that gets the assist to the assist or the goal or anything along those lines. I think
he would start the play. He would start the attack.
He could be the guy that starts to play. You see that with a lot of strikers. I always remember watching Javier Hernandez for Man United, and I don't remember which pundit it was talking, but they were... I think Man United won 3-0. Rooney scored a goal, and I think Van Persie scored a brace. But the pundit, and it may have been Alan Shearer, he was talking so much about how the runs that Chicharito was making were creating the space for Rooney and Van Persie to score into. And he was basically saying how that is imperative, because as he pulls away to the left, it takes a defender and Rooney's able to run through the middle. And I think that's what Jack Grealish... It's not going to be so much running off the ball with Jack Grealish. It's going to be on the ball playmaking, but it's going to attract people to him, which is then going to leave space. I mean, imagine if you give Bruno Fernandes or Paul Pogba too much space on the ball near the edge of that box, Rashford, it's going to be devastating. So it could really work. I don't want Jack Grealish to go to City, by the way. I would be absolutely...
Me neither.
I'd be absolutely devastated. Fixer, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Top man, thank you. Smash that like and share button this morning, people. 6 p.m. tonight, we've got a big show for you. We've got Harry and Igal, and we have Callum, and we have LFC Sonny repping Arsenal and Liverpool. Big preview. Of course, the Premier League action returns this forthcoming weekend. We can't wait to get back to proper business here on the Football Terrace as well. Comment here from Wesley says, imagine a free of Pogba, Bruno, Grealish with a proper DM. Oh, don't, mate. It's... Imagine those 3 and kind of like, I don't know, like almost... You could do a diamond, couldn't you? You could almost do a diamond. You could do a midfield diamond with I'd love it to be Ndidi or Rice, and then you have Pogba and Grealish, one left, one right, and then Bruno in the spear, or maybe Bruno and Pogba with Jackie as a spear. It doesn't matter. And then you just let them have fluidity. In possession, they get to have fluidity and move and switch. Oh, it could be amazing, but I doubt it's going to happen. I'm not going to allow myself to get carried away. Thank you to Sean Dunn for becoming a member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to become a squad member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. Thank you. Cedric, big announcement. Is it confirmed? Almost. Waiting for that. I'm waiting for that confirmation, baby. It's all done my end. We're waiting for it, and then let the fun and games begin. Let the fun and the games begin. Terry's playing FIFA. I ain't playing FIFA. I don't even think that's a bad thing to say. And you wouldn't play. Listen, this is the thing, right? One of my biggest bugbears in football are people that say, "What's our strongest 11?" I don't like questions like that. Again, I think that's key stage 1 football. Pure basic. Pasta no sauce. Pure white chicken. Never do that, by the way. Never do that. It is. You know what I mean? You know, have you ever seen someone who makes scrambled egg, right? And they microwave it, and then microwave it so it's dry. It's like dry microwave scrambled egg football analysis. That's what I'm talking. No, your scrambled egg's got to have a little bit of runniness to it, very yellow. You mix in a bit of creme fraiche. Oh, anyway, sorry, I'm talking about food more than football now. I just keep making my points. It's got to be proper. But you wouldn't just play. You wouldn't play. Let's just say we've got Ndidi. You wouldn't play in an Ndidi, Pogba, Grealish, Bruno, Diamond every single game. Horses for courses, but it's an option. Rotation would be amazing. It's why City have killed it this season. Of course, they've got a great manager, great squad, brilliant tactics, system. But it's the strength in depth. It's the ability to rotate. It's the ability to be able to bring on Mahrez and KDB from the bench in a game that you're struggling in. Imagine that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Do me a favor, hit that like and share button. My guy's in the house now. KJ's here. What you saying, brother?
Give me Varane. Give me Varane. Give it to me now, bro. That's the only centre back we really should be going for. None of this Kunde for ATMs. None of this trying to get Upamecano, even though Bayern's already sorted that out. No trying chasing Ben White, bruv, you know what I mean, at 50 million. You're telling me Ben White's worth 50 million and we can get Varane for the same price? All right, listen, give me Ben White. No, don't give me that. Give me Varane. Give me Varane. Send my brother our way, fam. You know what I'm saying? Please, I'm on my knees. I'm begging.
It would be an epic signing. There's no doubt about that. It would be a serious signing. And listen, I can't allow it hasn't happened. If it did, a bit like the Jack Grealish talk. If we sign Grealish and Varane this summer and a proper and say Declan Rice, on paper it would be amazing. If we got those deals done early, we'd be like, John Myrtle, Darren Fletcher doing their bits and bobs. I still have this. There would still be this element of I wouldn't allow myself to get carried away because we've been let down too many times. But it would mean what it would mean to me is there's no excuse to not see a dramatic. And that's the one thing I'd say about signing proper high-end players that we need. So not just, we've signed a superstar name that we all go, but why did we sign? If we signed another star player that plays in Bruno's position or another star right back, I'd almost be like, why? We don't need that. We need backup in those areas. But if we sign those players, I would openly state there is zero excuses anymore for Ollie to move forward. If with the squad we've already got, if you added that to it and we didn't lose anyone major, then we would have to expect something serious.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Ollie outers, I want everyone to focus on Ollie and get him out gone. I personally would if the board, if the pagans and that Wada did their job, I would be on Ollie's neck. I would. But they don't do their job. That's the issue. So for me, it's like, okay, if by some miracle these idiots get their ducks in a row, if John Murta and Fletcher are actually in their ear and they listen to them and they're able to get good targets, they're bringing them around, they're bringing a Grealish, they're bringing a DM or a different kind of right winger. I'll be out cool, isn't it? My foot is still on Woodward's neck. my foot is still on the Pagan's neck, but I'll be like, Ollie, now I'll be my foot will be on your neck as well, and it like so sort it out. But we can't trust them to do that. That's the only problem.
That's it. I mean, if that's where you start. Look, I guess two things. It's signing the star players. We have to be sure they want to be here. You often know that by how early in the window you sign them, how much more you're paying them compared to what they were earning elsewhere or what other clubs offered them. So what you'd want to see is Varane comes because he wants to come, and he'll be on a good wage. He's a four Champions League titles to his name. He can't be coming in on stupid money. But it's like if he comes in on 500 grand a week, I'm just throwing that stupid number out there. It's like, did he come because he wanted to, or did he come because we paid him stupid money? As long as those things all fit right and it looks proper, and you've got those quality players on top of this squad, then you can't allow there to be too many excuses for Ollie. At the moment, the Ollie inners, the one thing you can't overtly deny them is that we don't have a strong enough squad outside our starting 11. And it's the reason I'd love to see these signings come in as well. It would give us an answer to an actual answer to the debate. They couldn't say he hasn't been backed as an example. And at the moment, that's the problem with it. It's the argument is either here nor there. It's all based on a hypothesis. It is what it is, but it's pretty good. On Jack Grealish, we touched on it a little bit yesterday. He's linked with a move to Man City. Do you think that would be good for him?
Yes.
Someone said it wouldn't be today, so I'd love your opinion.
Would it be a good move, bro? People said Mahrez to Man City wouldn't be a good move. Now look at him, bro. Man's there, and he does a madness for them. And yes, mate, there'll be times where he'll be out of the team, but when he comes back into the team, he's hungry and he delivers. Jack Grealish in Man City, what Pep would do to him is not fair. It is not fair. And please, I'm begging, please, don't let this happen. Slap that 150M price tag so it never happens, bro. And then when it comes to United, give us an 80 million deal and then we can move forward. That's all I can hope for. I need to call up Dean Smith and them man there and tell him, listen, don't let him go Man City, please, because it won't be fair, fam. It won't be fair.
I said it earlier. For me, bruv, I actually think if you go City within 12 months of being there, the conversations will be who's more, not better, maybe that's the wrong way of phrasing it, but who's more impactful, Grealish or De Bruyne? I think Grealish has the ability to perform at that level. They may not have as good a cross. He may not be able to play that ball on the outside of his foot as good in terms of one attribute or one key sort of feature of a player. But I think Jack Grealish, it makes me feel sick as a Man United fan to think, forget our link to him. Say we had no links to him, it would make me sick still to make him see him in a City shirt, because it would just, if they sign Grealish and Haaland as well, I almost feel like saying there's almost no point anybody else turning up next season. It's just give City the trophy, and if Chelsea sign a proper goal scorer, then they can compete with them. If they don't, and City get Haaland and Jack Grealish, we may as well just start our own league. And just
I would say, make a trophy for second, innit? That's what I would say, innit? Because what would be the point, bro? It's my days, like what they're doing at that football club makes me ill. As a football fan, I admire it, because that's how you should be running a football club, and they're doing it right. But as a United fan, it makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick. And now one of my favorite players in the league potentially could go to these pagans. No, bro. No. This is what makes it worse. If United were bad, but Man City was still a small team, and Liverpool was still in the wilderness, and Arsenal was still doing Arsenal, I can survive. I can deal with that. But no. We have Liverpool did what done for the last few years. Yeah. And you've got Man City they're on the verge of becoming the greatest Premier League team ever. They're on the verge of eclipsing us. They're about to be immortal.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's no interest. He's from Manchester, big United fan. He has no interest in appearing on camera, and I wish he would, because when you listen to like Webby from Discovery Channel. You know, them sort of old mank heads who know so much about the club. I'd love to get him on, but he just isn't interested in talking on camera. And I was asking him about the structure at the club and the way it's being run. And he's sort of in agreement, like most United fans, that we just run. 1 second. Hello. Yeah. You need a what? You need to go to the toilet. Where's mummy? Yeah, can you get mummy to take you to the toilet, please? Please, I'm done working right now. Sorry about that. She said, Dad, I need to go poo. I'm like, yeah, right now I can't help you.
She's not at the stage you should go by herself yet. That's
yeah. She can do pretty much everything by herself. It's just she likes someone with her. She's strange like that.
Is she one of those kids who's nervous when they poo and then
she's like that. You just come in here. Yeah, it's cool. So a mum can sort out. Yeah, so she made me laugh. But yeah, what was I saying before I got thrown off there? About yeah. So what he was saying about the club? He was saying that the club isn't being run like well, etc. Blah 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 blah. And it isn't. But his view was what someone inside Man United needs to do. And he thinks his view is this is what the Ollies and the Fletchers and the John Myrtles are trying to do. Is you have to butter them up. You can't slag them off publicly. You can't call them out. You can't make problems. He said, what you need to do is show them that you can make, and it's not quite what fans will want, but it's a happy medium. They need to try and show them that if you listen to our methods, in the medium to long term, we can make you more money by winning things. So he kind of said to me, his actual words were, slow your fucking roll down, Terry, with all your negativity about Man United, and just give this new process 18 months to see what happens. Because what he's said that he's told about by people very close to the club. And when you're local, there are a lot of people that like have that kind of connection. But what they're trying to do is just keep the Glazers sweet, but show them there's a different way of doing it so they can yield results for fans, but equally make them as much money as they want to take out of the football club, because they believe that's the only way forward. There's no point fighting them because all they'll do is shut up and close shop and then not change. So again, I take it with a pinch of salt because I don't trust the Glazers and the board. But I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we do. But if, like you said earlier, if you bring in a Varane and a Grealish and a really good CDM, we get it done early, we get them in for good money, we keep the strength of the squad together, then I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. If it gets to the final day of the transfer window and 2 unknown kids are signed and then we sign a 35-year-old attacking midfielder, I'm done. I'm finished, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, you think last window was important. This window coming out it's make or break. If they do not get it right, I say we're it now, but it will confirm it. We will be finished. We will be finished.
Hey, it will be. It will be because we just get left behind by people, and then it's just going to be carnage. We're going to go to some more calls here this morning. We're going to get Tim on. Tim's a Chelsea fan. What do you want to say, mate?
I just wanted to speak about the potential of Haaland in this situation. I've gotten to a point, right, where it's like I heard something the other day. It was like, if you have a 1 in 100 chance of going down a water slide, 1 in 100 chance of getting $1 billion. So you get $1 billion if you survive, but you have a 1 in 100 chance of dying. And it's like, mate, I could potentially get Haaland, but the fact that he could go to City, this guy needs to be banned from the country or something, because the chance of this guy coming to Man City, like I said it yesterday, it makes me physically ill. So I don't care how the potential that we could potentially get him. Nah, screw that. I just don't want this guy to be an option. I think he needs to break a leg or something, because the fact that he could go City makes me just want to curl up in a ball. It's that bad, seriously. How?
Yeah.
Chelsea can't sign it.
I literally can't even speak properly. This is how much it makes me nervous.
I mean, I hope he doesn't break his leg. I mean, that's the one thing I don't hope. But listen, I think I kind of get what you're saying. I think in the sense of no, I don't. I don't really get the analogy between the water slide thing.
Okay,
and
I'll say it again. Actually, do you know what? I don't want to say it again. Screw it. I screwed it up. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Go on.
I get that analogy. Someone said to me, Terry, there's £1 billion to go down this water slide, but there's a 1 in 100 chance you die. Take the risk. I'd probably take the risk. One,
Would you?
yeah, for £1 billion, I'll take that risk. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what Haaland is to me. He's like the water slide. It's like he's like the £1 billion. It's like you can either get the money, but he has the potential to go to Man City.
Yeah, but I don't
It's
get the analogy. I don't get the analogy because Chelsea going for him isn't going to make it easier. Like, there isn't a. I don't get it. I don't get a connection.
Basically, what I'm saying is we're dead. If he goes to Man City, everyone's dead. You're just dead. Like,
Right. Okay.
It's slowly coming together.
Yeah,
Slowly.
I had to come up with it while I was waiting, and that was the only one that came to mind. So
I suppose my view would be this: Chelsea going in for him is you attempting to win the £1 billion. There's you going for him doesn't give City a better chance of getting him. They can get him with or
no,
without.
I get what you mean. Yeah, okay. You know what? In hindsight, I probably should have not said the analogy. I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. It wasn't
Probably
the
should
greatest
have
analogy.
said he breaks his leg as well. To be fair, but did you know what I say to you, Tim? Right?
Yeah,
Go on. Is Chelsea are the front runners? It's down to listen. If he goes to City, I am blaming Roman. But equally, I'm a Man United fan. If he goes to either of your clubs, I'm pissed. He ain't coming Man United, and that's
it's actually crazy to think about it. Oh, this kid is so good. It's actually crazy. And Man City, right? If they get Grealish, oh, dude, listen, I haven't seen a title since 2016-17. I'm so spoiled. I want another one next year. I don't think I can wait another year. It's like I'm so. It sounds so spoiled, but seriously, we haven't had a title in so long. 5 years, 5 years, It sounds so sport, but I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I'm about to say you've got United out here on 8.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to United fans, but honestly, I sound so sport, and you guys want
to. And got Spurs on 50 something.
Yeah, Spurs on 50 years. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. Like,
and you know what the funniest part is? I'm literally like 22. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't even been around that long.
You're the proper spoiled age of Chelsea fan because you only remember success at Chelsea.
Exactly.
But the older generation of Chelsea fans, my age and a bit older, they remember it being average. And same with I'm in the Man United age category of people that only really remember success. You get a lot of petulance. Like the younger United fans, I feel sorry for like Aiden, who's like 18. Like I know he kind of remembers the back end of Fergie's success, but he won't remember it. Like, trust me, I do feel sorry for fans that go through their teen years with their teams not being very good. Because those, like from about 15 till I was about 24, 25, those are like the best Man United years ever. Like, and I got to experience a lot of that as an adult, being able to travel and everything else. I feel sorry for the generation that their adolescence, when they've got all the freedoms to experience football, their team's dead. I do feel a bit sorry for them. But
mate, look at all the kids that support Arsenal. I mean, seriously, like that's a whole generation of just depression.
You find so many that picked them after the Invincibles. Oh,
yeah,
what a bad decision. Listen, bro, thanks for coming on, having your say. Appreciate it. All KG, that analogy had me dying, bro. I don't know about you.
Yeah, bro, that analogy went straight out of my water slide in my head. And I was just like, where? I don't know where this has gone. I was so confused.
I didn't quite get it. I mean, in terms of asking me a question, would you go down a very dangerous water slide for £1 billion, but you might die? I'd be like, yeah, because 1 in 100 is pretty good. I would take that risk. Like, I legitimately would take that risk for a bill, 100%. We're gonna go to another caller here. We've got Bay Tech. I don't know what his full name is. Bay Tech, what are you saying?
What's good, my bro?
Yeah, man, all good. What's in your mind?
Basically, I don't think we need a CDM as bad as people are making out. I think the main reason why people are like, we need a CDM, is because they don't like Lindelof and Maguire. Now, I put it to you that when we play Bay and he showed his excellent form, we play higher up the pitch, and the defenders camp on the halfway line, and we just attack teams, which is good. But my main problem with the way that we're attacking teams in teams that play in a low block is that we don't have the balance in our attack. So when the ball goes out to the right-hand side, it's usually whoever's on the right just wanders into wherever, Wan-Bissaka doing whatever he's doing, and most of the time, what I see down that side is not the greatest. So I put it to you that we would hammer the hell out of teams without a CDM if we concentrated on a proper striker and a right winger.
You see, so what you said there at the start was partly true. Yes, some people don't like our DMs because of Lindelof and Maguire being a partnership, so we have to play 2 DMs. But another reason why a lot of people want a new DM is because they don't like the DMs we have now. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we don't have an actual DM is the issue. One of the things we struggle with a low block is because our deep line midfielders can't pass. Fred struggles with it a lot of the time, especially in possession. When he's on the break on the counter, he's better, but he's still not great. McTominay, he struggles with it, even though he tries his hardest. Matic, his legs are gone, so he gets his pocket pinched most of the time, and he just can't make the same passes he used to. The only one that can do is PP, and man's about to leave anyway. So, yeah,
all right.
DM, if we was more important, even when you're talking about attacking and hammering teams, because we need those deep line playmakers, deep line midfielders to be able to thread passes in between the lines, so we can hammer teams more. So it's not just about the centre backs why we need a DM. We need a DM because we need a DM because we haven't got a DM.
All right, now I'll put it to you that if we was dangerous on that right hand side, because most of our attacks are usually coming down the left hand side. After a while, it becomes predictable. That's why we went on that run of beating teams, but we were beating them by the odd goal. So I put it to you that if we have the same sort of penetration down the right-hand side, I put it to you that once the first goal goes in, more goals are going to go in, because now we've got defenses at actual 6s and 7s, because now they're not just scared about the left, they're scared about the right.
Do you know what I would say, mate? I think this. I agree with you to an extent. If we're more balanced, we're less predictable. We're not as easy to counter attack against. I think we would have an improvement if you just threw a Sancho into that right hand side. Generally, game to game, you would see an improvement. I think our win percentage would improve. We'd score more goals. I think you're right. Where we still need a CDM in the mix is to go on to that stage of actually being able to win a major trophy. So I think that both are needed. If we brought in a really good CDM, but we didn't fix out the balance on the right-hand side, we would still fall short. By the way, we could have all those things, and if you don't have the right manager with the right system, you can still, everything needs to actually be together. So I hear a lot of fans say, just bring in a better manager and we win. No, we've still got holes in the squad. Fix this hole and we'll win. No, we've still got other holes and maybe a managerial issue. It's 2, 3, 4 things over the coming months that need to be sort of resolved. Coming years that need to be resolved and looked at. The managerial one's interesting because I know a lot of people think that's the biggest issue, but for me, we should be buying players and filling the holes in this squad regardless, so that when a new manager, like, think about it this way. Let's just say Ollie gets 1 more year and we get rid of him, and then we bring in everyone's number 1 choice. I don't care who it is in a year's time. If all those holes in the squad still persist, that new manager is still going to have the same problems. We might improve slightly with a better manager, with better training, with a better system, but we're still going to fall short of where we need to be. So I get your point. We need to be more balanced. I think the right-hand side of the attack is essential. It's been lacking for 11, 12 years. But we need multiple areas fixed if we get back to that promised land. Great call, though, mate. Thank you for coming on and having your say. Really do appreciate that massively. KJ, same for yourself, mate. Appreciate you coming on. All the viewers that have tuned in this morning, smash that like and that share button. Remember, we're back at 6 p.m. tonight. Arsenal versus Liverpool preview. I'm so glad proper football is back. KJ, Harry, Callum from the Coppish, and LFC Sonny all gonna be on that show.
I won't be. I'll be watching from the stands, enjoying the madness.
There we go. KJ will be watching. Or maybe KJ traveling this weekend at all? You're home this weekend?
No. I'm here.
A big weekend, isn't it? It's Easter, so it's a big one for you. And you're cold in it, so it's.
I swear, I tell you, if I come and slap you across the screen, then.
Only joking, brother. Only joking. Listen, everyone, hit that like button, hit that share button, and we'll